Today I'll be showing you some plugins you absolutely need to download. I'll be mainly going for unknown ones and things that are going to make your quality of life while playing RuneScape way better. So let's jump into the plugins. For those of you who don't know how Runelite works, when you download Runelite you'll get a load of plugins that are built in, but today I'm going to be talking about ones that we want to add. So you're going to want to go to this little button here and then just type in whatever I'm talking about. The first one you want to search for is Combat Level Muting, which is this handy little plugin here. I'm going to go over to the GE and hop to World 301, which is infamous for scammers, spammers, all sorts of horrible stuff. So we're going to hop on over to that. So as you can see, there's a load of things being just spammed and just, complete stuff that you don't care about. And this plugin is very helpful. So if we pull this up and turn it on, this is going to get rid of anyone who's level 3, but we can change this to whatever we want. So let's change it to like level 100. So I won't see any chat from anyone who's under level 100. It won't pop up over their heads. It won't pop up in my public. And this is a really good way of just getting rid of spammers, scammers, just people you don't want to hear from. I usually keep this around 25. In general worlds, when you're hopping around like normal worlds, this should keep you from seeing any spam and just stuff you don't want to see. Okay, so the next one is Time Tracking Reminder, and that's what this guy up here is, reminding me that my birdhouses are ready, and it can be used for other things as well. I primarily use it for birdhouses, and I'm also going to mix it with another plugin that I use, which is great, which is called Bank Tags. And you'll see in my bank, I've got these sort of like other things on the side of my bank where you won't have. And I've set these all to be like specific things. So like if I want to do a birdhouse run, I have all of my things just ready here and waiting. Makes it super quick to just get a birdhouse run going. For example, I've got a clues one here, Calfight Queen, Shooting Stars, Colosseum, and so on. You get the picture. And it's super simple. To make a new one, you click this new plus button that will now be here, and we could just call this test, for example. And that will then bring this new one down here. And then I could change this icon to anything in the game. So, I don't know, let's make it a bead. So we'll make it a red bead, and this is our test tab. And then from anywhere in my bank, I can start dragging items in here. As you can see, it doesn't affect my bank at all. And just drag items in here, and then they will be there waiting for me, which is really, really nice. So whenever you want to like gear up with range gear, you don't have to like go through your bank. You just got a range tab, a melee tab, a magic tab, and it's super easy. So the time tracker with the bank tabs makes doing things like birdhouses super quick. Every 45 minutes or so, I get a little notification saying my birdhouse is ready. I go into the bank. The bank tags means that it takes almost no time to gear up and do the birdhouse, and boom, we're done. Okay, the next one is called Monster Menu HP. These are my settings if you want to pause the video and just see what I've got there. So let's say you're doing some neck reels for a Slayer task. Let's just grab all of these guys here. So we're ice barraging, we'll do a couple more ice barrages, and then let's say you want to see which one has the most HP. This is what this plugin does. Uses the combat level of the monster to give you like an HP bar. So this death spawn is nearly dead. This neck reel is obviously the most healthy, possibly this one. So that means we can then just click on that one, and we know we're attacking the one with the most HP. Because sometimes you don't want auto-retaliate on when you're doing something like Smoke Devils or something like that. You don't want to be auto-retaliating. So you always want to be attacking the one with the highest HP. This is great for when you're just like killing a few mobs as well, and you're just like, oh, which one was the one that has the most HP? Because without this, you're just having a guessing game, But with this, you can attack the most healthy NPC every time.
A lot of the time in RuneScape, you'll find yourself doing a tedious long grind that you have to AFK. Wouldn't it be better to learn a life skill while you AFK? What if I told you you could learn how to code while AFKing RuneScape using an RPG system that rewards you like a game would? That's where boot.dev comes in. You will learn back-end web development from start to finish in Python and Go programming languages. The folks at boot.dev believe the smartest way to learn code is to make sure you're never bored. It's online, self-paced, and feels like a captivating RPG game. The platform is designed to get you writing a ton of code, because getting your hands on the keyboard and shipping projects is the only way to really learn. Programmers have an amazing earning potential. According to Stack Overflow, the median salary for back-end developers in the US in 2023 was well over $100,000. And if you ever struggle to understand a concept, Boot's a powerful bear wizard that's been trained on each lesson, can walk you through your issues Click the link in the description and use my code LINKS to get 25% off your first payment for boot.dev. That's 25% off your first month or first year, depending on which subscription you choose. So in a lot of videos, people ask why my game just looks better than theirs. Like, I can see more of the map, there's not like black walls, you know, stuff like that, fog, things just look nicer, closer up. So that's thanks to a plugin called GPU. So if we turn this off, see the instant change in everything around here? So this is it off. This is what RuneScape looks like with it off. This is what it looks like with it on. And then if we zoom in really close, you'll see, let's get some trees and my character in, boom. You can just see how everything looks a bit more grainy, and as you can see, like black walls start appearing and stuff like that. So yeah, that's thanks to the GPU plugin. So these are the settings I use. Feel free to pause the video so that you can see everything there. This is like the best settings to make everything look amazing. And then another plugin I used to use, but I don't use anymore, but it is to do with this sort of GPU stuff, is animation smoothing. As you can see, when we have this on, the character is a lot more fluid with the movements. As you can see, the head moving there, and then if we go back to how it was before, it's a bit more like jaggedy. And this works for not just the player, but also like NPCs and stuff like that. And if we maybe go for a run, you'll see like how the character's running, it's just a lot smoother. And if I turn it off, there's a bit more of that jaggedy sort of running. So that's more preference. I have it off, but yeah, I used to have it on. Alright, we're off to the Wildy for the next couple of plugins, and these two plugins will probably save your life more than any other plugins in the game. So the first one is going to be player indicators. I'm going to turn that on. Feel free to just pause the video and just copy what I've got here. Everything here should be really useful, and it will show you exactly how mine looks. So as you can see, there's a player out here. As soon as I step out, his name is going to pop up. This makes it a lot easier to see when PKers or other players are about you. They also show up on the map with the settings that I have. So I'm just here, you know, minding my own business, killing bears, for example. And there'd be absolutely no way I'd know a PKer was behind me. But as you can see on the map, I can see him. So this is super useful for just, as it pops up, like it's very obvious. Let's just run out of his range. It's very obvious as soon as a PKer or another player pops up, boom. Very, very easy to see. And then in conjunction with this, you want to get yourself wilderness lines. Again, my settings are perfect. You can just use these. So if we turn this off and go over here. So as you can see, wilderness looks normal right now. But if I turn this on, this red line appears. And this tells me exactly where multi is. So right now, only one player could attack me. But if I stand here, I could get attacked by as many players as a clan could put together. So these red lines are super useful to just stay within them. And then on top of that, we have this blue line, which is the 30 wilderness line. So after you go past this, no jewelry in the game will be able to tele you out of the wilderness. Before this line, things like glories, royal seed pods, all that will let you just tele straight out if you see a PKer. But if we go here, we are in no man's land and we could be in a lot of trouble. So blue line, super useful, letting you know, okay, I can tele with whatever jewelry I've brought to get out. And the red lines, obviously, so that you don't get messed up in multi. So the next plugin is going to be Inventory Viewer. If we chuck this on, you'll see my inventory pops up on the screen here, and I can move it to wherever I want. And this is really great when you're doing something like RD Nights, for example. So with the RD Night, I would just leave my cursor where it is, and as you can see, my inventory is just filling up, and I don't need my inventory to be open to see what's happening. And this way I can know when I'm about to hit the max amount of coin pouches that I need before I can open it. So let's say we're getting to the point where we're at the max amount. I just press my key, open all my pouches, and bam, we're back. This is just one use of the inventory viewer, but it's super helpful. Sometimes you don't want your inventory open, or you're using a different tab or something, and this just lets you see the inventory without having to have it open. Okay, so this next plugin is the plugin that has made me improve as a player exponentially. It's probably one of the most useful plugins out there, and it's actually this red tile that I'm stood on, where you can see that my character, wherever it moves, this red tile pops up. I'm going to quickly have a little bonus plugin here, low detail. Some people use this all the time. It's useful in situations where things are a bit crazy and hectic and you just don't want all the scenery getting in the way. So that's a little bonus plugin, but that's not the one we're going to talk about here. What we're talking about is tile indicators. And again, here's my settings, so you can copy whatever I've got. The red tile is where I currently am, and the green tile is my destination.
Super helpful, this destination tile, because it lets you know exactly where your character's going to go. This destination tile is super useful when you're doing like high-level PVM, because you want to know exactly where your character's going to go. You know, when you don't have this on, it's sort of a guessing game. It's like, oh, I clicked. I'm not really sure where my player's going. But if I turn this on, okay, I clicked. I'm not happy with that positioning. Let's go here instead. That'd be a much better spot. A lot of people know about this, but a lot of people don't as well. Your character isn't actually where your character says it is. So when we click here, you can see my character is lagging slightly behind this red tile. That's actually where my player is, where this red tile is. So we're like 2 tiles behind here. This can cause you to take like unnecessary damage because it looks like your player isn't, I don't know, touching an orb or isn't touching some sort of thing that's going to give you damage. But with this plugin, you know exactly where the player is. It's so helpful, and especially when you're doing like solo Chambers of Xeric and stuff like that, it's so helpful to actually know where your player is. Honestly, this is probably the most important plugin that I will talk about today. Definitely get it. It might feel a bit weird at the start, but honestly, I don't even notice it anymore, and it just helps with so much precision. The next plugin is called NPC Aggression Timer. This is a very useful plugin if you want to AFK while doing like Slayer tasks and things like that. So I've currently got a Dagonoth Slayer task, and you see this sort of like yellow square around me. We're going to head over to the Dagonoths, and there's also this timer up in the top left as well. Okay, so as you can see, I'm getting attacked by everything here. We have 9 minutes 53 until they will stop aggroing me. So let's say this was like 1 second to go. We would just take 1 step out here, and it completely resets the aggro. Another 10 minutes, and it lets me know exactly where I need to walk to reset the aggro again. No more guessing, like, oh, how long have I got until these guys are going to stop attacking me? Where do I need to walk to? That kind of stuff. Really useful plugin. The next one is called Interact Highlight, and this is probably the one that I get asked the most about. So as you can see, when I hover over like the Phoenix, it has this sort of like yellow outer glow, letting me know that that's what I will be clicking. You can also turn this on for objects. I personally don't have this, but you can. So if I wanted to make sure that I was definitely clicking the lectern, I would know because it goes up blue, or the fairy ring, or the pool. And this is super useful for just being accurate with what you're actually clicking on. So this isn't too hectic, but it sort of shows how helpful it can be. Let's say like this is the NPC that I want to attack. I know for sure I'm clicking on this one because it's highlighted. And then when I have actually confirmed the click, it goes from yellow to red. And I know that that's the NPC that I'm going to be attacking. And I haven't accidentally clicked the tree, for example, or something like that. Again, might take a little bit of getting used to, but before you know it, it's just like you forget it exists, and it's super helpful. So we've got another double whammy here. We're going to go with item stats and status bars. Status bars I get asked about a lot. That's these 2 bars next to my inventory. If we just turn this off, you'll see that they disappear. And this gives you HP and prayer right by your food and inventory, so you don't have to look up here at all. You can just use these 2 as a good little marker of where you're at. So on top of that, we then have the item stats, which I do think comes standard with Runelite, but it might not. Item stats is really useful for, so like this magma helm right here, if I hover over it, it's not giving me any info. But if I have the item stats on, it's going to tell me everything that this does. So over the helm that I'm currently wearing, it gives me 5+ melee strength. I lose some attack bonus in magic and range. Really nice to just like quickly see whether or not something's better to wear or not than what you're currently wearing. This doesn't just apply for gear though, it also applies for food. So as you can see, if I was to eat a manta ray right now, it's telling me that it will give me 0 hit points because I'm currently at full hit points. But an anglerfish I can overheal with, so it's telling me that I can eat this for +22. If we were at lower HP, the manta ray would tell me that it would heal me 7, for example. But what's really nice about this is if it's green, it means it's not going to be wasted in any way. Similar to this prayer right here, I can show you. If we hover over it, there's 0. It will give me 0 prayer. But let's just waste some prayer quickly. As you can see, it's in yellow now because it won't give me a full dose of what it can offer, but it will add like 13 prayer points. The status bars also do this on the side. You can see my prayer going down. It's sort of got like a greeny yellow thing above it where the like empty bit should be. But you'll see as soon as we go down and past it, it then goes into this sort of turquoise, letting me know, okay, if I drink this, I'm not wasting any prayer potion. So now you can see it's gone green, because it's going to give me 31 prayer points, which is exactly what a full dose will give me. So if I drink this now, boom. So it's back to yellow because I would waste part of this pot by drinking it now. Really nice when you're PVMing and you don't want to have to think about whether you're going to overeat or use a prayer pot when you shouldn't. It just takes that thought process out and you just have to look for green or yellow. It's really nice. This next one is for people who forget to put their recoils on all the time. I promise you will never forget again with this. It's called the Ringer Recoil Notifier. And if we turn this on, here's my settings. As you can see, when the plugin detects that we don't have a recoil on, it shows this image on screen. You can make this image as big as you want. You can make it absolutely ridiculous. Say you're mid Zulrah kill and your recoil breaks. This will just pop up right in front of you, letting you know, get it on. So let's say our recoil's just broken, so it's showing this image, and then boom, we put that bad boy on and it's gone. Let's say it shatters again, and it's back on the screen. Obviously, having it at this size is ridiculous and very, very unnecessary, but maybe you can have it at 10. You can also move this around by holding Alt. This works for a lot of the plugins as well. Holding Alt will then let you drag things. Similar to when I showed you the inventory viewer, I was moving it around my screen. You can hold Alt and move things like this, which is nice. But yeah, so you'll never forget to put a recoil on ever again. Okay, so these last two are more just to make the grind a little bit more pleasurable. As you can see, I currently have rain going on. That's thanks to the 3D weather plugin here. And you can choose anything from rain, snowy, starry, stormy, loads of different things here. You can also enable ambience, which will give you like rain sounds or snow sounds or storm sounds, stuff like that. And I just find it makes the world a little bit more appealing. And especially when you're doing boring grinds like agility or something like that, it's just very relaxing hearing all of this. You can really customize this to however you want. You know, this is all personal preference. And then on top of that, the skybox as well. I'm actually not too happy with the color of the skybox I have at the moment. So if we change this to maybe like a lighter blue. Probably a little bit too much there. Maybe if we go here. And it just makes like the world a little bit nicer than just the texture of black just everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Again, complete personal preference. Maybe you go for like more of a sunset vibe. This is quite nice. But yeah, it just makes the world look a little bit more pretty. On top of all that, I recently did a video on an AFK guide for every single skill, which also featured a lot of plugins. I'll leave that video on screen now and in the description if you'd like to watch that next. If you found a new plugin or I helped you out, a subscribe and a like on the video would be very much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.